Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday night. Game week 21 is in the books. It's been a bit weird. It was over a couple of weeks, which was kind of a bit strange. And next game week starts not this weekend, but on Tuesday of next week. It's all very, very strange. But game week 21 in the books, and you guys can see from the scores here, somebody did not have a very good week. And James, I'll be honest with you, it's the last time I stick my neck out on a result that not many people think will happen, but I have a sneaky feeling that I think will happen. I'm not doing that again because this has been my punishment. Bournemouth drawing with Liverpool 1-1 kind of came out of nowhere because I thought maybe no Salah or whatever, and I thought Bournemouth playing well, thought that might work quite well as well. Manchester United just sneaking it against Spurs, again, something that I thought was going to come off and go my way as well. Chelsea at home against a Fulham team, I'm like, come on, that's always historically right. Only 2 points for me. Only 2 points. James, I'm not going to lie, you didn't do amazing either. 5 results correct, but the correct score in that Manchester United Spurs game had you feeling really good. So 6 points for James that week. James, anything stand out to you from game week 21?
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. Apologies, because I didn't. That last game result, I actually didn't take it seriously because Jack sent it to me quite late. James, you got to do your predictions. There's no word of a lie, guys. I was in bed and I was so grumpy. I just putting in just stupid results. I didn't even care. I was just putting it in. And I somehow got 6, so that's just. I'll take that, Jack. That might be one of my best there, because I did not try and I got 6. I'm bigging up myself big time. For that one. Game that kind of stood out. Jack, I'm gonna say Liverpool winning 4-0. With all these players out, Jack, with the likes of Mo Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai, Endo out, Trent Alexander-Arnold, some serious core players, for them to go out and Jack to beat them that convincingly in the second half, what a performance for Liverpool.
Yeah, and again, James just putting in results willy-nilly, doing better than me actually thinking about it, doesn't feel great. So I need to
I actually did try this week, right? Last time I didn't try, so this one is actually the main one.
But yeah, we need to get back to it because we've not had standout positive weeks for a while, but that 4-point swing in this past game week does have James ahead by 2 points. James on 120, me on 118. Still very, very close, still a lot to play for, but James ahead. Moving on to game week 22. And James, we'll start with your guys. We'll start with Arsenal going away to Nottingham Forest. You've got Arsenal winning this one 1-0. I've got it 2-1. Do you think this will be quite a close game? Because you know that I do.
Yes, because Jack, if you remember last season, Nottingham Forest where the title hopes officially ended. Man City won the title off the back of Arsenal losing to Nottingham Forest away. So the scars of that is still going to play there. Arsenal been on a bit of a weird run. Granted, we won 5-0, and people think we're back up again. But if Nottingham Forest are looking at Arsenal's previous 2 results before the win against Crystal Palace, they're going to go in with a little bit of confidence. Granted, they've been kind of seesawing their way throughout this season, but I like to think that we can go there again against a tough team, new manager bounce. You got Chris Wood playing out of his skin, Elanga playing out of his skin. It's going to be tough. I see Arsenal making this boring like we tend to do nowadays and maybe snagging a goal from a set piece.
Yeah, look, I think you're mostly right. I think that the Palace game was a little bit of an outlier, a little bit weird, and it was kind of very unlike Arsenal in many ways. I do, though, James, think that Arsenal, as you've said, will make it kind of a tough game and will come out on top. The reason why I do have Forest scoring is Forest can hurt Arsenal, and I think will hurt Arsenal, but not enough for them to secure a draw or even snag a win. I do think that Arsenal are just by far the better team and will still have aspirations and hopes of climbing the table and still making this title challenge their own. And James, especially Martinelli, those couple of goals at the end, I do just wonder if that does wonders for his confidence. We've just finished watching Brighton play against Wolverhampton. They are on the road against Luton Town. I've got it as 3-1. James has got it as 2-1. James, is this a very simple case that one team is better than the other by quite a margin, whether it's at home or away?
Yeah, but just Jack going back to it and just going back to quickly, I just need to find their previous results. Jack, both teams are kind of like,
Yeah.
it's weird. Luton got Brighton was able to get a win against Tottenham, but Jack, they haven't won 4 of their last 5. A lot of draws in there, and also one lost to Arsenal. Luton, on the other hand, fair play to them. They've won 2. Like in that period, but overall, Jack, it hasn't been think about it, sensation. But the one thing I can draw from is like the fact that they're at home, and Jack, they do cause teams issues, and the amount of top sides who went there have been troubled on a number of occasions. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, they've all managed to go a goal down at a time, and I just look at this being like a similar thing where a top team like Brighton go down, but the quality seems to always show, and that's what has happened a lot for Luton at home against big teams. So I've just seen it being 2.
Yeah, look, and I think Wolves kind of really displayed this evening, on how you can potentially beat this Brighton team and nullify them and stop them from playing. What I will say, though, is there were a few half chances for the Brighton team where maybe on a different day they score. I'm just going to bank on them scoring. And I think with Brighton, it is one of those things, when the first one goes in, it could be anywhere up to 3 or 4 goals that end up going in, right? They're that kind of a team. I do think Luton will get something, but I just think the quality will pull through. Something from Pascal Gross, something from Ferguson, João Pedro, one of these guys will just make the difference. Fulham Everton, really difficult one for me to pick, James. I'm not going to lie. I've kind of gone on the home team trying to pull something out here, but Everton, very, very difficult to pick against. I'm going with the Craven Cottage home example. I think this will be a very tough game. Can see this being 0-0 up until maybe 70 minutes or so. Very, very low scoring affair. I just have Fulham snagging it. You've got it the other way. What's your case for Everton taking 3 points?
We praised Everton at the time. They went on like a 4-match winning streak or something like that, and then they were in some serious good form after the 10-point deduction. But Jack, in the last 5, 1 win in the last 5, and Fulham the exact same thing, 1 win in their last 5. Both teams haven't been firing on all cylinders, and now with our 10-point deduction, I looking over their shoulders with Luton having the game in hand, and if Luton can win that game in hand, it's like they drop back in to the bottom 3. I just think that they can go there knowing that it's almost, I wouldn't say a must win, but it's like we have to win there. We have to win to kind of create that separation, because no one wants to be hovering in and around that area and like get dragged into it. And it looks like they might do it. So I just think that they can go in there. And Fulham, I'm not sure what I'm going to get. Granted, they were able to beat Arsenal. Don't know how, but they were able to do that. But looking at their previous fixtures, hasn't really looked like that. This is the one where generally it is a flip of the coin. Take your pick, and Jack chose one way and I chose the other way.
Yeah, and guys, again, if we're talking about betting on certain games and things that are a guarantee, don't touch this game. Don't touch this game. You're crazy if you do. Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. James, I think we're going to probably have to consider the Arsenal game a little bit of an outlier. I don't think that, Palace conceding 5 goals is not something that we see every week. They are not that bad defensively. And I think the floodgates kind of opened, and especially those last 2, the team felt like it was just kind of over and they wanted to get out of there. I think, though, that, James, Sheffield United are going to smell a little bit of blood here. I think they're going to think that this may be an opportunity for them to get a point, maybe even blag 3 points. So again, going with another 1-0. I just think this game will stay very, very close, but then a piece of individual brilliance, a set piece, something of that nature. Crystal Palace are going to create more chances. They're going to be more on the front foot. I just think at some point this will pay off and we'll have a 1-0 Crystal Palace win. You do have Sheffield United scoring. Where are you getting that from?
I look at this in a slightly different way. I think you seen what went on with Crystal Palace at the Emirates from point of view of all the protests and the club, the fans are not happy where the club is going right now, and that could seep into the players' performance. But the one thing will always cheer up fans and everybody like that is wins.
Right.
Ultimately, wins, and this seems to be a game that I feel like the fans will get behind them as they always do. It will be a difficult thing knowing what knowing what is going on, especially with them not wanting Roy Hodgson as manager. But this seems to be one that's going to keep him in the job for maybe a couple of weeks longer. So I just have them just being able to beat Sheffield United in a bit of a must-win game. Because if they don't win, it becomes like what has already happened becomes even more toxic.
Yeah. Also, quick side note: Graham Potter, don't try and get another big job. Go Crystal Palace. Work with some talented players and prove that you're a good coach and a good manager again. Seriously, I think if that job opening comes up for Graham Potter, you should take it with both hands. Anyway, maybe a conversation for another day. Aston Villa versus Newcastle. James, both teams, if they were in good shape, fully fit, on form, fire, and all this kind of thing, this would be like one of the kind of newer, fun matchups in the Premier League. Unfortunately, we're not that way at the moment. A couple of injuries here and there for that Newcastle team, and also they're kind of unsettled. Financial implications hitting them, and Kieran Trippier, is he going to Bayern Munich? And there's a lot of stuff going on. Sandro Tonali, and obviously the betting scandal as well. I think you and I both here share probably the same view. Aston Villa just operating and running on a different level as the home team against Newcastle right now.
Jack, I'm just going to take it back to the first game of the season where I think Villa got beaten 4 or like 6-0. It was quite an overwhelming score by them, and I feel them kind of just getting their, just getting their lick back in a way, being able to put a Newcastle team to the sword, Jack, who have quality. We've seen against Manchester City, Eric Gordon's goal, Isak's goal there, have some serious quality there. But right now it's just with injuries and just all sorts of stuff going on at the club. They just can't seem to get some rhythm and some flow on the football field right now. And I just see Villa with the way that and now they're looking at Europe and they're thinking they can do it and maybe looking at the title, which I think is so far ahead. But I see them getting their lick back and really giving Newcastle Newcastle a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, look, I'm totally with you here. Again, two teams operating completely differently right now, nearly in nearly every single way that you can possibly think about it. The Villa are on the ascendancy, Newcastle not so much. Manchester City, will we see a full first introduction and a start for Kevin De Bruyne against Burnley? I'm going to say yes. James, clearly you're going to say yes as well. He's in my fantasy football team. He is my captain. I think Kevin De Bruyne starts, and I'll be honest with you, as much as I think it's nice for Vincent Kompany to come to the Etihad, I don't know how much fun he's going to have, because I think Burnley are going to get absolutely brutalised. You think so even more than me. Why do you think it's going to be so bad for Burnley?
Why I think it's going to be so bad for Burnley is that if Vincent Kompany is going to try and play out against the Manchester City team, you know what Manchester City does in that situation. The quality, Jack, is going to be too much there. They don't have the capabilities of like competing with them. And maybe I'm going back to the time when Sean Dyche was there, but Sean Dyche went through a period where they went to Etihad 3 times in a row and lost 5-0. I just want to see continuing it there. Granted, the style is different, but the style probably caters more into Manchester City's hands. So yeah, I just seen it 5-0 plus. KDB's back. City are now in that time period where they go on this long run and like this, the start of it.
Yeah, look, and you might be absolutely right there. And again, it's something I predict is going to happen. I don't know how fluid the run's going to be, but I can see them getting like maybe win, 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 draw, win, 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 draw, draw, win, win. You know what I mean? I think it'll be at least an undefeated run. That's for sure. James, next up, Spurs versus Brentford.
And also, Jack, I was going to say Erling Haaland might be back for that game, so it just makes it a bit more, Yeah. So I'm just saying.
Having De Bruyne and Haaland start would be Serious. That's one hell of a flex if I've ever seen one. Um, Spurs Brentford. James, Ivan Toney back is a game changer, and even at Spurs, even though they're at home, you've got this one down as 2-2. I'm not going to give my piece here. I just want you to go. This is kind of a surprising one from me that you've got this at 2-2. What's your explanation for this one?
Um, just the fact of like Spurs have a lot of players out, Jack. A lot of players out. We're talking Son out. I think Madison's still out. Just so many top players out. And Jack, the boost from having Ivan Toney back for this Brentford team, who've been on they had Jack. They had 4 losses in a row, and the fact that their captain's back, their top scorers back, it kind of gave them a boost there. This will be an open game, and like the one thing that Spurs do is make it an open game. Chances are going to be created at both ends of it, and I just think with the quality of Ivan Toney being back there, Brentford will Brentford will create chances. I think Spurs will be wasteful. So I just see it being a thing where Brentford are going to be clinical, Spurs are going to be wasteful, and I just see them being a 2-2.
I just think Spurs will be able to do more. I agree with you. It's going to be chaotic. I agree with you. This stuff's going to happen. But James, I think Van de Ven coming back is massive. Be that with Christian Romero. We did see Dragusin make his debut as well. So I think there will be a defensive partnership we're going to look at there. Very impressed with both fullbacks, Doji and Pedro Porro. Very, very impressive. I think especially at home, they'll be able to do some damage. And James Richarlison's found like kind of a little bit of form here. Brennan Johnson, it feels like he only needs like a handful of like opportunities and goals to maybe get his confidence flowing as well. So no Son. Madison may be back. I'm not totally sure on that one. I think there were some rumours he might be, but I just think that they have enough firepower, especially with the supporting cast around them, that they'll be able to get this done. But again, Brentford, especially with Toney, dangerous. So to me, that reads like a 3-1. I'm just going to put that out there. James, I would say this would usually be a very, very exciting fixture, but especially the way Chelsea are at the moment and kind of where they're sat and how they're performing. Liverpool at home against Chelsea, I think we can only see this going one way. Maybe not. 1-1, James, you have to explain this one. Why do you have this one down as a draw, especially after we've seen a couple of games of Liverpool where even without Salah, they've been impressive?
Simple as the fact of Jack, the last 7 games that they played have all ended up in a 1-1 draw, Jack.
No kidding.
Jack, the last 5 Premier League games, it's either been 1-0, 2-2, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0. Yeah, the 2 cup finals, 0-0, Jack. It just seems to be a thing. Granted, like this Chelsea team has changed a lot. I still think that Chelsea have the capabilities to hurt teams. Liverpool are on an absolutely incredible run right now, and we're going to get into a video looking at, are they title contenders yet, guys? Stay tuned. Are they favourites to win it on now? But the way that they're playing is outstanding. But I'm a history guy. I go on the history, and history makes me can play a part in my thinking, and it really does here. I just see the fact that Liverpool are missing a couple of players there that Chelsea can kind of just stay in there and just snag a draw.
I'm going to just go on the fact, even though history is very much on James's side, I am going to go with Jota, with Diaz, with Nunez, especially at home. And let's be honest, a pretty badly performing Chelsea team. I think the one thing I will say to those historical matches is Chelsea were in probably a much better position when those matches were being played, whereas this year it does feel like there's a lot of change. So yeah, I'm going to go with 3-0. Again, a Cole Palmer penalty, maybe. Set piece, all right, maybe. But I'm going to just say they keep the clean sheet as well. West Ham, Bournemouth. James, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Bournemouth and Iraola have kind of had their fun. They've had their fun in like 2nd or 3rd in the form table over the last 5 or 6 games, and I think we're going to, normal practice is going to be resumed here a little bit. I think anything that they did have as success, there's now enough footage that a team like West Ham, a manager like David Moyes can go back, review the footage, especially at home at the Olympic Stadium, and be able to maybe assess why Bournemouth are doing well and how to stop it and how to nullify it. I do think West Ham will be able to pull this one off 2-0. And also, James, potentially a bit of a boost for them. If Calvin Phillips is coming in on loan, he's going to be fired up and he's going to want to put on some performances too. So maybe we even see him in that game. You've got it a little bit closer as 2-1. What's your explanation?
I'm in the motion of might put this as a draw, Jack.
Wow.
And just based on the fact that, Jack, two of their best players aren't available.
Right.
Yeah. When you're missing Lucas Paqueta, when you're missing Kudus, to be fair, Kudus, Ghana might be out by then, so Kudus might be there. I'll keep it the way it is.
Okay.
Kudus might be there. I just realized just Ghana just went out right now. By the time it comes out, it'll be probably a day or two. But Kudus might be available, so okay, I'll keep it the way it is for now. West Ham winning 2-1.
Wolves, Manchester United. James. All flipped scores here. Okay. My defence. I think Manchester United are going to be fit for the first time all year. And I think we're going to see the back four that had, quote unquote, some success last year, right, in terms of where they finished and how they did. I think we're going to see Shaw. I think we're going to see Martinez. I think we're going to see Varane. And I think we'll see Dalot. I think we'll see what Erik ten Hag wants to see. I think Casemiro will be back. I think maybe Kobe Mainoo plays, maybe Fernandes plays, and maybe that front three still plays. James, that is a good team. And I think that maybe they can potentially rediscover what Erik ten Hag wants that we saw from last year, that I think had a lot of Manchester United fans quite hopeful that that would continue into this year. Now, that's not happened, but this team's been horribly, horribly injured. The different partnerships and pairings in midfield and defence, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. I'm potentially glass half full on this one because I know Wolves can definitely pose problems. I think in particular, Pedro Neto could be a real game changer in this game. If Marcus Rashford gets sucked up too high up that pitch, Pedro Neto is going to have some fun down that right-hand side. But I just think Manchester United will have enough, again, like they've been kind of doing all season, to just blag this 2-1. You have it the flip side. What do you think is going to happen in this one?
Jack, my head's scrambled, Jack. I'm not going to lie. I've been seesawing around this. I'm looking at the history. Man United, the last 7 games, have won 6. And they haven't conceded much when they went there. And but I just look at the amount of time Manchester United have gone away to like 2 teams and really struggled.
Yeah.
And Wolves are a team, Jack, when they do get it right, they can really put teams to the sword, Jack. You remember what it was like when they went to Old Trafford. They should have won the game. Forget about getting a draw or something like that. They should have won the game based on the amount of chances they have. Granted, they've been in and out. Jack, Jack did mention Pedro Neto is back there, which think about it, which is a massive boost there. But Man United, I'm just not sure what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
If I was a lot more sure, it should be a Manchester United win easy. But I'm not sure. And I'm going to go out on a limb and just say Wolves are going to win. Because, Jack, Wolves do have a big result in them. They've beaten Tottenham at home. They've beaten Man City at home. Yeah, they do have that big performance in them. They do love a scalp. And I just think this could be another scalp for them.
And I think the big thing with Man United, if they are going to win, they're going to win by this much. They're not going to win convincingly or in a good way. It's going to be in the 90s.
It's going to be a scrappy one.
Got McTominay going to do something or whatever. So yeah, no, look, I hear you there. That I'm worried about. I just think fully fit, we'll see what happens. Guys at home, you know the drill. Should have said this at the beginning. Guys, we're like 3 or 4 subscribers away from our big target of 1,000 subscribers. So if you do us a favor, scroll down. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Drop a like on the video too. Helps us with the algorithm, helps us get on other people's feeds as well. And more importantly, your comments. We want to see your predictions for the games. Let us know what you think of mine and James's predictions. James, anything else from you, mate?
Guys, as I said, Jack, we're 3 subscribers away. Could you please do us a massive favor? And if you're watching this video, you have not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and get us to 1,000 by our next video, guys. We really appreciate it. So please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you when we hit that 1,000. Thank you.
Bye.